How many of you know that anytime you're going to get into your promised land, anytime you're going to get to the place that God has designed for you, there will always be walls or problems surrounding the promise of God. Matter of fact, the way that the enemy tries to keep us away from God's promises is he puts problems all around them. Problems in the form of these big, thick, impenetrable walls that we think are just too difficult to overcome. But I want to share with you that walls do fall. Walls are intended to fall. God makes walls fall. We can't do it our own way. We can't make the walls fall. We can't muscle up. We can't, get enough talent to get the walls to fall. We can't make enough connections to make the walls to fall. But what we can do is we can follow God's plan and get the walls to fall in our life. And so I want to minister to you today on how do we get the walls to fall in our life. First key is found not in Joshua chapter 6. That's when the walls fell. How many of you know that before your walls fall, there's preparation that has to take place? See, we always look at what happened at the moment of the miracle, but I believe that God always wants us to look first at what led up to the miracle, because it's the stuff that leads up to the miracle that is just as important as the miracle. And the first key to getting the walls to fall in our life is found in Joshua chapter 1, verse number 1. Beginning of the book, it says, after the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord, it came to pass that the Lord spoke to Joshua, the son of Nun, Moses' assistant. One version says Moses' minister. I want you to notice here that God is very careful in defining who Joshua was. For 40 years, Joshua had been the assistant to Moses. He ran the errands for Moses. He stood by his side. He spoke on behalf of Moses. He delivered messages that were unpopular as if they were his own. He stood out on the front line of the battlefield while Moses went up on the top of the hillside to pray. He was out in front. He would take a bullet for Moses. He would do whatever he had to. He's on the front lines. If Moses said, listen, I need a Coke, he went and got him a Coke. Listen, I need you to go. He did whatever he had to do. He was Moses' assistant. And it's no shock that Joshua was the one that was chosen to succeed Moses, because there's a spiritual principle. If you want to get the walls to fall in your life, and it goes like this: whatever you want God to make happen for you, you make happen for somebody else. If you want the walls to fall in your life, make it happen for somebody else. Ephesians 6:8 says it this way: knowing that whatever good thing any man does, the same will he receive from the Lord. All throughout the scripture, we see this principle. A widow woman, she's hungry. She only has a morsel of food. Along comes another man who's hungry. She needs God to do a miracle for her. And so what does she do? She takes her last morsel of food and she gives it to somebody else. She gives it to Elijah. She feeds Elijah, and because she made it happen for Elijah, what did God do? He supernaturally provided for her. Whatever you make happen for somebody else, God will make happen for you. A little boy, he uses his lunch to feed a crowd of hungry people who are listening to Jesus speak on a mountainside. And because he gave his lunch to Jesus, Jesus gave him 12 basketfuls of groceries to bring home to his mama. He made it happen for the crowd, and Jesus made it happen for him. A Shunammite woman, she built an extension on her house for the man of God to have a place to rest. Shortly thereafter, her child died and her soul had no rest. But because she made it happen for somebody else, God resurrected that child and made it happen for her. Whatever you make happen for somebody else, God will make happen for you. A centurion paid for a church to be built in his hometown. Shortly thereafter, one of his servants, who was so important to his business, got sick. What did God do? God raised that servant up off of the sickbed. Why? He made it happen for the synagogue. God made it happen for him. Whatever you make happen for somebody else, God will make happen for you.